Okay, hello everyone. We're here for our first SpireSide Chat. Huh? SpireSide?
I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
And we're joined by, what's your title here, Dan?
Jake, I would happen to be.
I start off with the hard questions first, and then I'm going to say your name after that. I'm going to say Dan Self, our Director of
Project Engineering Manager.
Okay. We're joined by Dan Self, the Project
Engineering Manager.
Manager. That's Dan Self. Off to a good start, Dan. So what Dan's going to do here is we're going to talk about the construction side, which is probably, in my opinion, Dan, other than the sales side, is the most important thing here. Because,
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if you don't get anything built, then nothing's going to get to the home, right?
Yep. Other than sales, I would say that you're going to have to let me go here a little bit.
Go ahead. I was just agreeing with you. You know, it's a nice work environment we have, just agreeable. Go ahead.
Yeah, obviously it's the sales first and then the construction second, right?
Yeah. But so after I sign somebody up, Kelsey signs somebody up, anybody that works in here signs somebody up, or they sign themselves up online, we always tell them the next thing you're going to see from us is called this hello sign now that took the place of the old congas. We got it. It's the same idea. It's a confirmation email. And then your department kind of takes over. You have a couple guys working for you now that come out and do field survey sheets.
Correct.
So what kind of all does that entail, the field survey aspect of it? Is it a pretty simple process?
Yeah, it is a simple process. Very important.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, the way that looks when it gets to our department is our inspection team would come out to the house,
Mm-hmm.
set up an appointment with the customer, come out to the house, and they're looking for specific things. So one, they're looking for what's going to be the best placement of the box on the side of the house.
And we refer to that as a NID, right, Dan? So
That is what we call the NID.
Yeah, so if you hear that, that's what Dan's group's talking about. So
Network ID is what that is.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know that that's what that meant.
Yeah. Yeah, so the inspector would set up an appointment with the customer to come out and, talk with the customer about where that box would be best placed on the house. There's also the process of the inspector asking some questions as far as utilities go. Now, we all know that Julie comes out, they'll mark your utilities for you, but there's also private utilities that come into factor here too.
Right.
Dog fences, power to your garage.
Right.
Those are things that Julie are not going to mark, that we're going to want to know where they're at. So they'll make a map of that with talking with the homeowner. Drainage tiles is another one. But from there, we take all that information. The inspector will have you sign off on that sheet. He will there in turn give that inspection sheet to the construction department.
Okay, and then just to touch on a few things you said there. Number one, we'll call the Julies in for the homeowner, right? They don't need to do that. We'll take care of that aspect.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's one thing that the homeowner doesn't have to worry about. We'll take care of that. Then you said drainage tile. Now, usually those are fairly deep, right? When your construction crew comes, how deep are we burying the fiber drop is what we call them? How deep are we burying that generally?
Question.
Now, this isn't a contract. We're not going to hold you to, well, it's going to be this. But just generally for the homeowner, how deep you think?
Yeah, so you're right. It does vary a little bit depending on the scenarios. But for the most part, we like to stay, 12 to 18 inches deep with that fiber line.
So, but always if the homeowner, after we leave, if the homeowner's going to do something, plant a tree, put a patio in, then they would need to call the Julies and we can come out and mark those.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
And we're pretty dead on those, aren't we, where we go, because of the maps that we have and because of the locator post. Now, do those do mainline or are those for drops too? When you can you locate those drops that easy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, off the locator post usually at the front of the property or in the back easement of the property.
Yep. Gotcha. Yep, and those will be not these cones, but the locator posts are the things around town that you see that have the orange tops. So that's what we're talking about on that. So our construction company, let's just say we're moving right along here. We've done this field survey sheet. Our construction crew, which we're doing most of the drops now, right?
That's correct.
Will come out, we bury that 12 to 18 inches off of the sheet that we've talked with. What happens next? Is that where this NID comes into play after that's been dropped in, or how does that
Yeah,
work?
so the process all kind of goes hand in hand from there. Going back to the Julie side of it, the next thing after that inspection team comes out, we obviously have to have the Julie called in. Once you start seeing flags getting put in your yard, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to be getting a drop soon thereafter.
Gotcha.
So you'll see the Julie locates first. We want to make sure we know it's a little bit of a nuisance to mow around those things this time of year, but they're extremely important.
Yeah.
We will pick up those flags once we are done with the project. But it gets Julied. From there, you'll see a crew come out of 4 or 5 guys with certain different pieces of equipment. Could be a yard plow, could be a bore machine, reel trailers. But from there, yeah, all our facilities get buried underground. This box will get placed on the side of the house. The fiber line, or the fiber drop, what we call it, we refer to a drop. That is the line from the utility easement to your house. So you'll hear a lot of that terminology of drops and NIDs with the inspecting group. From there, the line will get placed inside this box, and then within a day or two, more than likely, you'll see another group show up. That's our splicers.
Splicing now. That's what you kind of started off doing, splicing, didn't you here?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I spliced one time. You remember that? I was pretty good at it.
I actually do remember you coming out there. That was a good 3-minute overview for you.
Yeah, it was great. So we've got splicing trailers now, but Dan, when we very first started, Dan had this little, it was like, I don't even know, was it a pop-up hut or something like that?
It was a hut, and I sat on a bucket.
So he's sitting on this bucket, and we're out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm supposed to see how this fiber splicing takes place, and he's cleaning stuff, and I'm like, so what do you do after that? And you're like, well, then you put it in this machine, you splice it. I'm like, all right, good talk. Well, so
Back to sales he went.
yeah, everybody's got their own thing, I guess. But, so the splicing crew, we got 4 or 5 guys now that splice.
Yep.
So that all takes place pretty good, and that's just basically welding. I'm using this terminology loosely here. Welding 2 clean pieces of glass together.
Correct.
So that the light can transmit, and that's how this is all run, folks. Fibers run through light. It's not electricity. I mean, there's some electricity involved to generate the light, of course, but the light has to be clean, has to be through there. What kind of loss are you looking for on that light? Besides 0, but I mean, what's
Yeah, obviously 0 is the best, but you know you're less than 1/10 of a percent.
1/10 of 1% of the
Yep.
light can be lost.
Yep.
Okay, so you have to be pretty precise, and that was another reason why I never really got into the splicing aspect too. So once you're all spliced, okay, then everything's good on the NID. You open that NID up for us real quick.
Sure can.
Thank you. And then to run into the house, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll have another piece that attaches to this, correct? Or is
That's
that wrong?
correct.
Okay.
Yep. And basically we call that either a push pole or a jumper that would come off the house.
I always wondered what a push pull was. I honestly did not know
Yeah,
what
this
that
black piece you see right here is actually the push pole. So this here would come, this would be the house side, coiled up, and then back out of this box into your home.
was. And that's this piece that'll go into the house?
Yep.
Okay. And then that'll go into either this or this, which is the
Yeah, correct.
ONT or the Gigaspire there. So,
That's
okay,
right.
Dan. Was there anything that we kind of missed? And no, I'm not wrapping this up just because I heard the nude whistle and it's lunchtime, but it did factor in. But what other things are we missing on the construction side, maybe? One thing that I want to reiterate, and sorry to cut you off there, but one thing I want to reiterate is for people to leave those flags in there because, like you said, it might be a nuisance to mow around, 6, 8, 10 flags in your yard, but it's going to be more of a nuisance to clean up a mess of, hitting a water line or an electrical line or something like that. So let's see big picture here. maybe one mow that you have to mow around. Neighbors aren't gonna be talking, it's gonna be fine, so just leave the flags in there.
Yeah, and the people that pull them too early, it just slows the process down, because
Yeah.
then we have to call Julie back in again and have them come out and mark them.
Right, okay. Anything else that we missed on the construction side?
I don't believe so. I think
We
about
covered
it
it
for today.
for today. Oh, you're gonna be a returning
Who
guest. on our
knows? Maybe I will.
SpireSide Chat.
We'll see how this one looks
Well,
after production.
To the dozens of people that might watch this that know us, it's gonna be great, I'll tell you that. You were saying earlier that you had a joke that you'd like to finish this on, is that what you're?
No, I thought that was your forte.
Oh, no. Well, unfortunately, folks, Dan didn't bring his joke that he told me he was going to, so that's gonna wrap up our SpireSide Chat for today. Until next time, thank you very much, and I'd like to thank our guest, what was your job title again?
I can't remember.
I can't either. Dan Self, he works here. Thanks a lot for stopping by, Dan.